श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणं नाम लोकविश्रुतं शृणुयात् श्रद्धया युक्तः मम सन्तोषकारणम्। नमस्तस्मै भगवते वासुदेवाय वेदसे वपुज्ञानमयं सौम्य यन्मुखाम्बुरुहासवम्। अतिमानुषशीलवृत्तवेषैः अतिवृत्तामरविक्रमप्रतापैः अतिलङ्घित सर्वलोकसाम्यं वरये वैष्णव वैभवावतारम्। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। We have been relishing the glorious conversation between Narada and Brahma. The conversation between Narada and Brahma being recounted by Shuka Brahma to Parikshit Maharaj, which obviously is being recounted by Suta Pauranika to Shaunaka and other Maharishis in Naimisharanya. Bhagavatam is a nested series of conversations, conversations within conversations, wisdom embedded within wisdom. Narada asks 6 questions to Brahma. Yad Rupam, Yad Adhishthanam, Yad Asprishtham, Yad Samstham, Yad Param, Yach. Yad Rupam, what is that which manifests this universe? Yad Adhishthanam, what supports that manifested universe? Yad Asprishtham, what is this process of creation, this manifestation, this emanation? Yat Param, how is it controlled? Who is this controller? The designer. Yacha, what is it composed of? Yat Samstam, how is it sustained? So far we have seen Brahma answering all the 5 questions. Yad Rupam, Yad Adhishthanam, Yat Asrishtam, Yat Param, Yacha. Now Brahma is going to give a detailed answer to the question, Yat Samstham. How is the universe sustained? How is the order maintained? There seems to be a beautiful order. This is an orderly universe. There are laws that are inescapable. There are laws that are precise, unwavering, which ensure that everything is working as per the order. How is this order maintained? Dharma samsthapana is, dharma is alignment to order. Dharma is to be aligned with the universal order. Bhagavan's laws are to be followed. When they are not followed, there is a fallout. Whenever there is a disorder, there is a correction mechanism that happens. And Bhagavan ensures that this correction mechanism continues to keep happening in order to ensure that there is always order in this universe. And his avatars are one way of ensuring that the order is maintained. He takes care of maintaining this order, sustaining the order in this universe through different ways. He does that through several deities. Being their Antaryami, he carries out the task of maintaining order. He sends masters, rishis, acharyas, in order to ensure that order is maintained in society. And now and then, he himself descends in order to maintain order, in order to do the course correction. And when he descends in a variety of ways. And his descent is what the Shastras celebrate as avatars. He takes several avatars. One of the specialities of Srimad Bhagavatam is the celebration of his avatars. Throughout the Bhagavatam, his avatars are celebrated in different ways. So right now, Brahma is going to give a summary of various avatars of Bhagavan. What we need to understand is these avatars need not follow the chronological order. There are many ways the avatars are relished. Now Brahma is going to relish his own series of avatars in a particular order, but this order need not necessarily be chronological. As we know, time is not linear. Time is cyclical. When time is cyclical, even the avatars, the way the avatars are captured in our Shastras, they are not necessarily captured in a chronological order. Very important to understand this. Avatars can happen within a Chaturyuga, within the Manvantara, across the Manvantaras, within the Kalpa, across the Kalpas. And what we get to relish are avatars, the details of which are recorded in our Shastras, belonging to different yugas, different manvantaras, different kalpas. Brahma begins his answer, yet samstham, how the order is sustained. One of the fundamental laws with which creation happens, the law of yajna. Yajna is the foundation of this created world. And therefore, when this law is broken, there is a disorder in this universe. And it requires, necessitates descent of Bhagavan as Yajna Purusha in order to correct the disorder. And therefore, Brahma begins with the glorious avatara. The glorious avatara of Varaha, the Yajna Purusha. Yatrodhyatakshiti talodharanaya viprati Kraudim tanum sakala yajnamayim anantaha Antarmaharnava upagatam adidaityam Tam dastrayadrim iva vajradharo dadhara. Upagatam adidaityam, the primordial demon, Brahma says. The primordial demon, the Asura, who possibly was one of the earliest ones to break the law of Yajna. Who is that? He was named Hiranyaksha. Aksha, eyes, Hiranyaksha, which means ones whose eyes are only fixed on Hiranya, which is gold. One who is greedy. So greed is exactly the opposite of Yajna. When the demon, out of greed, wanted to possess Mother Earth as his own, greed is nothing but trying to possess something which does not belong to us. This is one of the fundamental laws. Trying to possess something which does not belong to us will result in disorders of all kinds, external disorders and internal disorders as well. One of the fundamental reasons for our mental disorder is this very greed, trying to possess what does not belong to us. And Hiranyaksha is the embodiment of that greed. Upagatam Adidaityam, the primordial demon Hiranyaksha, the source of all greed, when he tried to take over Mother Earth, and when Bhumi Devi was inundated by the cosmic waters of deluge, then Bhagavan decided to descend, taking the form. He is called Yajna Purusha, because why? Varaha is Yajna Varaha, is celebrated as Yajna Varaha, because the very purpose of his descent is to correct the disorder due to the rise of greed, the rise of adharma, which was triggered by greed. And only the Yajna Varaha can correct this, and therefore descending as Yajna Varaha, the glorious avatara, the very first avatara Brahma talks about here, Sakala Yajnamahim Anantaha, he says. Sakala Yajnamahim, the very personification of Yajna. Yajna Varaha, Anantaha, the unlimited Bhagavan, took a seemingly limited form of Varaha in order to ensure that there is abundance on planet Earth once again. So therefore, the greed was the disorder that was created, and in order to correct that disorder, Brahma says Bhagavan took the avatar of Yajnavaraha. What we are going to do, we are going to go along with Brahma and relish the avatars in brief. Because Bhagavatam, as we go deeper and deeper, each of these avatars we are going to celebrate in detail. Varaha Avatara, the glorious details on Varaha Avatara, we will relish in detail as we go along. So right now, we are going to only look at the list of avatars as Brahma conveys to Narada in order to answer his question as to how yet samskam, how this created universe, this world, how is it sustained? How is the order maintained? So Brahma begins with Antarmaharnava Upagata Adidaityam Tam Tamshtra Yadrim Yiva Vajradharodhana Dadara, he says. It seems with his tusks, he tore apart the demon Hiranyaksha, just like how with a Vajrayudha, a mountain can be destroyed effortlessly. So his tusks were like Vajrayudha. Easily he could demolish Hiranyaksha and re-establish order on earth. And then Brahma goes on. Jatoruche ajanayat suyaman suyagyaha akuti surur amaranata dakshinayam lokatrayasya mahatim maharat yat artim swayambhuvena manuna haririti anuktaha. This is the avatara of Suyajna. Jatoruche ajanayat suyaman suyajna akuti sunuhu, son of Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti. Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti begot a son by the name Suyajna, who was none other than Narayana himself. What is the purpose of this avatara? Lokatrayasya mahati maharat yadartim. In order to ensure that order prevails across all the three lokas. Three lokas here is Urdhvaloka, Madhyaloka, Adholoka, across the Brahmanda. Now, this is where we need to understand who is the Suyajna. Suyajna is the first Indra of this Kalpa. Every Manvantara, there is an Indra. Indra is only a title, it's only a position, it's a role. In every Manvantara, there is an Indra. Swayambhuva Manvantara, the Indra is Suyajna. Swarochchisha Manvantara, the Indra is Rochana. Uttama Manvantara, the Indra is Satyajit. Tamasa Manvantara, the Indra is Trishika. Raivata Manvantara, the Indra is Vibhu. Now the current Manvantara, which is Vaivashvata Manvantara, the Indra is Purandara. Each of the Manvantaras, there is an Indra. So Bhagavan, right at the beginning of Kalpa, he had to establish what is the role of an Indra. So just like how in organizations, there is a description, role description is given clearly. So he had to give clarity on the role description of Indra. What should be the duties that an Indra need to perform, and what other way than to demonstrate it himself. Instead of just giving a role description, Bhagavan took the avatara and performed the role of Indra and demonstrated how an ideal Indra should run the affairs, should run the administration of all the three lokas. So therefore, in order to show how order has to be established in society, the administration, Indra is given the task of running the administration, day-to-day administration. And Bhagavan takes the avatar of Suyajna. Suyajna is the avatar as a son of Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti. And once again, Brahma says, Bhagavan demonstrated. So therefore, the another lesson we learn is Bhagavan repeatedly, when he takes his avatars, also demonstrates to us. He not only teaches us, he also demonstrates how to live by those teachings. He not only gives us theory, he also gives us practical lessons. Every avatara, we see a combination of both. And some avataras are primarily focused only on practice, where he does not preach much, does not teach much. He only practices and he leads by example. So Suyajna Avatara is where he practiced and he showed what should be the ideal role of an Indra. Jagye cha kartamagrihe dvijadevahutim Srivissamam navabhir atmagatim somatre. This is a beautiful avatara which we will discuss at length. A very, very special avatar. Uche atma shamalam gunasanga pankam asmin vidhuya kapilasya gatim prapede. Jagye cha kartamagrihe Vijadevahutim, as a son of the illustrious Devahuti and Kartama Prajapati. This is the glorious Kapila Avatara. Kapila Avatara is very special. It is very special because it is an avatara where the son teaches his own mother on Brahmajnana. Atmagatim Swamatre, the one who taught the science of self-realization to his own mother, Asmin Matre. Devahuti was confused. She was very much attached to this world. After Kartama Prajapati left, she realized that she has to overcome her attachments. Therefore, Atma Shamalam Gunasankapankam Asmin Vidhuya. Atma Shamalam Gunasankapankam. The Atman is covered by the dirty mud made of, which is nothing but the product of three gunas, and the cleansing needs to happen. One needs to be freed of this dirt, which is the product of the three gunas, which binds the Atman to samsara, which ensures that the Atman continues to be entangled, attached to worldliness. Kapila teaches Devahuti how to sever the attachments and serve Bhagavan. The science, the art and science of detachment is the very crux of Kapila Sandesha. Kapila's Sankhya, the philosophy of self-realization, Atma Jnana. This is not to be confused with Sankhya Mata of another Kapila, which came in later. Sankhya is the science of counting. It is about counting the tattvas. the tattvas of Prakriti. By counting them, one also understands that this counting of tattvas is an endless task. One needs to start instead counting one's blessings and go beyond counting one's blessings to connect with the one who gives us the blessings. So Kapila is to disseminate the science of Atma Sakshatkara and Paramatma Sakshatkara. That order that needs to be established between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. If there is a misalignment, then the Jivatma continues to be in samsara. Only when there is alignment, the Atma attains moksha. So Kapila Sandesha, it is a glorious instruction of a son to a mother, and Kapila ensures that Devahuti attains moksha by teaching her Brahmajnana. Atrer apatyam abhikankshataha tushtaha tatto mahayam iti yat bhagavan sadattaha yat pada pankaja paraga pavitra deha yogadhim apur ubhayim yadu haihayatyaha. Yadu haihayatyaha. Yadu, the famous king Yadu, Haihaya, the king of Haihayas is none other than Kartaviryaarjuna. Yat pada pankaja paraga pavitra deha, whose the dust of, from his holy feet, from whose feet the holy dust was partaken in order to cleanse their bodies, purify themselves, and perform the sadhana yogadhim apurubhayim yadu haihaya adyaha. Kartaviryaarjuna and Yadu, both of them were blessed by this avatara. And it is Ubhayim, both the dual benefits of worldly pleasures and spiritual bliss as well. For both, one needs to be aligned to order, be it worldly pleasure or for spiritual bliss. And what is this avatara? Atrerapatyam abhikankshataha. Atrerapatyam abhikankshataha tushtaha. When Atri, the great sage, prayed to Bhagavan and requested Narayana for a son, Narayana was very, very pleased with Atri. What did he do? Brahma says, Datto maya haviti yat Bhagavan sadattaha. Atri wanted a son. Bhagavan said, Datto maya haviti. I offer myself to you, Atri, he says. What a blessed soul Atri was. He only asked for a son, but Bhagavan said, I will give myself to you. Datto maya haviti yat Bhagavata sadatta. That's why he was called Datta, one who offered himself. And because he was son of Atri, Atreya, Datta Atreya became Dattatreya. A very interesting avatar who instructed Yadu on Brahmajnana. This was recounted by none other than Krishna himself to his closest disciple, Uddhava. Prithvi vayurakasham apognis chandrama ravihi kapoto ajagaras sindhu patango madukritkaraha maduha harino ninaha pingala kuraro akakkuraro arpakaha kumari sharakrit sharpa urnanavihi urnanavihi supeshakrit. 24. Basically, the message that Avadhuta Datta had to give to Yadu, the message was very simple. Do not pander to worldliness. One is by design soaked in worldliness. whether we like it or not. We are bombarded by the world around us with all kinds of stimuli. Whether we like it or not, we need to deal with this world. There is no escaping. We just cannot shut our eyes, close our ears, close our mouth, close our nose, and shut all our indriyas and think that we can overcome the forces. How do we deal with this world? Instead of pandering to worldliness, ponder on what lessons we can learn from the world. Everything in this world can give us supreme instruction as to how to lead our lives. Bhagavan's creation is so very beautiful. Every part of this creation can give us a lesson. This is the beauty of this creation. Nothing in this creation is useless. It is just that it is used less. Datta, in his conversation with Yadu, takes him through a complete list of 24 worldly objects. Prithvi, Vayu, Akasham, Apaha, Agnihi, Chandraha. He goes on, gives a list. The idea is not to go into the details of the list here, because we will reserve that when we go into Uddhava Gita later on. Well, if you wonder when Uddhava Gita will happen, we need to wait until 11th canto. You're only in 2nd canto. We need to be a little patient. But I think it's worthwhile to be patient and go through this journey as we enjoy and relish every segment of this journey, leading up to Uddhava Gita. Because when we reach Uddhava Gita is almost like the crescendo of Srimad Bhagavatam. Just after the 10th canto, where we will relish, we will immerse ourselves in Krishna Anubhava, Uddhava Gita is like a crest jewel, similar almost to Bhagavad Gita in terms of the profundity of the messages. But here, Brahma is talking about the avatara of Dattatreya, how he helps Yadu deal with this world, not get carried away, deal with the world, be in the world, yet not get carried away by them. He says, the world is a university. Universe is a university. There are only lessons to be learned from everything that is around. And therefore, this avatara is very special, because here is where he says great people like Yadu and Kartavirya Arjuna were all blessed. They were purified. The dust of his holy feet was enough to purify them, and they were blessed with this avatara, he says. Then Brahma, after talking about the avatara of Dattatreya, comes closer home and talks about his own Manasaputras. Taptam tapo vividaloka sishikshayeme me adau sanat swatapasah chatutsano abhut prakalpa samplava vinashtam ihatma tattvam samyak jagad munayo yad achakshatatman. Samyak jagad munayo yad achakshatatman. For all the great sages, they had, but for this avatara, the jnana of the Atman and the sadhana of upasana on the Paramatma would not have been made available. This is the avatara of Sanat Kumaras. Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. Tattam tapo vividaloka sishikshayeme. It seems when Brahma began to meditate on Narayana to start the Vyashti Srishti, individual creation, Adau sanat svatapasassa chatutsano abhut. The Manasa Putras were created, and Narayana took the avatara of the Sanat Kumaras. There was a very important reason why he took this avatara. Brahma immediately was overjoyed and requested his sons to help him with the karma of creation. The sons refused, said, "We are not interested in karma, we are only interested in jnana." And therefore, they started to meditating on Bhagavan, and it is through these Sanat Kumaras, all the rishis obtain the treasury of the upasana, the sadhana of constantly contemplating on Bhagavan. So this is the glorious Sanat Kumara avatars. Dharmasya daksha duhitarya nishtamupyam Narayano narayati svatapah prabhavaha Drishtvatmano bhagavato niyamavalopam devyas pananga pratanagatitum nashekuhu Dharmasya daksha duhitarya jarishta murtyam. Murti is the daughter of Daksha Prajapati. The daughter of Daksha Prajapati is Murti. She married Dharma Prajapati. The son of Dharma Prajapati and Murti was none other than the twin avatars of Nara and Narayana. Naranarayana avatara. This is the avatara to teach how to perform austerities. How should one engage in tapasya? Narayano narayeti svatpapaprabhavaha drishtvatmano bhagavato niyavamalopam devyastu padanga pratanagatitum nashekuhu. It seems Manmadha, along with this army of celestial beauties, wanted to test the resolve of Naranarayana. And when all these celestial beauties landed up, it seems they could do nothing, because they found out that the very source of beauty is what was presented to them. So how can the source of all beauty be shaken by anything which is only a fragment of the beauty which is emanating from them? So therefore, Naranarayana demonstrated how to perform tapasya, and it is in this avatara, in the glorious place of Badrikashrama, Narayana instructed to Nara the mantra of all mantras, where the highest wealth, the very essence of all the Vedas, was packaged in the form of a simple mantra and was given and bestowed as a treasure by Narayana to Nara. A very interesting avatara where Brahma says it is in this avatara that Bhagavan started to teach how to perform tapasya, and also how should a disciple conduct himself with a guru, and how a guru should also conduct himself with a disciple. One of the important prerequisites for order in this created world is also the order, the relationship, the Guru-Shishya relationship to be preserved. And this is that avatara where Bhagavan himself takes the avatara of a Guru and also takes the avatara of Shishya and demonstrates how important, how significant this relationship is for the sustenance of order in this created world. Brahma also says, Kamam dahanti kritino nanu rosha drishtya, rosham dahantam mutatena dahantyasyaaham. Soayam yat antaram alam pravishna bibheti, kamakatam nu punarasya manaha. He says, twin enemies are Kama and Krodha. And it is these are the two disorders, very dangerous disorders. And Shiva demonstrated how he can overpower Kama by destroying Manmatha. But the only thing is, Shiva used the power of his Krodha to destroy Manmatha. So therefore, while it was a demonstration of overcoming Kama, there was the demonstration of Krodha there. So Brahma says, in Naranarayana Avatara, both Kama and Krodha, both the disorders are at once both are addressed, and through this avatara, the order was once again established by eradicating the root of all ills, which is the twin dangers, the twin enemies or the kama and krodha. And Brahma continues his account of how yet Bhagavan sustains yet samstam vidda sapatyudita patribhirantiragyaha bhalopisan upagatas tapasevanani tasmadad druvagatim granate prasannaha divyastuvanti manayo yat uparayaddathastat. How Bhagavan took an avatara to present himself as Prishnigarbha in front of Dhruva, appearing in front of Dhruva, he gave him the imperishable Dhruvaloka. Here, Bhagavan protects a very important law that is necessary for the right functioning of this universe, for the order to be sustained. This is the law of all laws, the fundamental law, the law of divine love, bhakti. Dhruva is one of the foremost examples of bhakti, and in order, pleased with Dhruva's bhakti, Bhagavan appears in front of him and he himself breaks the law. We need to understand this. The lawgiver sometimes can break the law. We cannot break the law. Many a times we wonder, Krishna, how can Krishna get away doing whatever he does? Answer is very simple. The lawgiver, whatever he does is the law. We may think he is breaking the law. Bhagavan doesn't break the law. With our own limited intellect, it may seem that a law is being broken, but whatever he does is sustenance, support, maintaining order. So therefore, for the sake of Dhruva, Bhagavan created a special loka, which is celebrated as Dhruva Loka, and the sages above the Dhruva Loka and below the Dhruva Loka celebrate it even till today. And that is the secret of the Dhruva Loka and the avatara of Narayana as Prishnigarbha to appear in front of Dhruva. Then Brahma says, Yadvenam utpatagatam vijavakya vajra nishplushta paurushabhagam niraye patantam tratvatito jagati putrapadam chalebhe dugdavasuri vasuda saklaniyena. Yadvenam utpatagatam vijavakya vajra. Vena, Chakshushamunu's lineage comes Anga, whose son is Vena. Vena unfortunately happened to be the very embodiment of evil. Vena, once he became the king, declared that there should be no more yajnas to be performed in the whole entire kingdom. No more worship, no more yajna. Obviously, if yajna is not performed, there will be disaster, there will be disorders of all kinds. All the rishis, therefore, cursed him, cursed Vena. And Vena was almost about to be consigned to Narakaloka. Vena's son, Bhagavan, took the avatara of Vena's son. Nishplushta paurushabhagam niraye patantam. Bhagavan saved Vena from attaining Narakaloka and justified the name Putra. Putra, the name Putra comes one who enables one's Pita to escape the Naraka called Putu. That is why the name Putra is given to a son. Pita, Putra. The significance of the word Putra is one who enables his Pita to escape the Narakaloka called Putu. So therefore Bhagavan, as son of Vena, he himself being embodiment. And who is this? This is none other than Prithu. Prithu by the name means abundance, greatness. By taking the avatar of Prithu, Bhagavan ensured that Vena does not reach Narakaloka. More importantly, because of yajnas not being performed, Bhuloka was suffering. There was famine everywhere, drought everywhere. Dugdha vasuni vasuda sakalaniyena. Prithu also cultivated earth. He was the first one to bring in systematic agriculture on planet Earth. He was the first king to introduce the concept of agriculture, how to cultivate Mother Earth in order to ensure that we can use the resources in a proper way in order to sustain abundance. And that is the reason why Mother Earth comes to be called Prithvi, because it was Prithu who ruled her, and it is from the name of Prithu the name Prithvi is given to Mother Earth. So the avatara where he established once again abundance on Mother Earth and ensured that all the resources on Mother Earth are properly utilized. That is the avatara of Prithu Maharaj. Prithu also happens to be the first one to be called Raja. Raja is one who has an expansive heart, one who has a room in his heart for every praja. He is Raja. And the first one to be called Raja was Prithu Maharaj. And then Brahma continues with his answer on the question, Yat samstha nabheda sha vrishabhasa sudevi dhunur yo vai chachara samadrik jada yoga charyam yat paramahംस्यं reha padamatmananti swasta prashantakaranaha parimukta sangaha. Swayambhuva Manu's son Priyavrata, he divided Bhuloka into 7 dvipas. And then his son Agnidra divided Jambudvipa into 9 varshas. And Agnidra handed over one of the varshas to his son Nabhi. And it became Nabhi Varsha. Nabhi's son is Rishabha. Rishabha's son is Bharata. And that is how Bharata Varsha, the name came in. You have to understand that Bharata Varsha is one unified territory for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Today, many are still trying to debate whether Bharata existed as one territory or not. We are now talking about a time which is thousands and thousands and thousands of years before. Bharata Varsha is named after Bharata, who is the son of Rishabhadeva. Rishabhadeva is the avatar of Narayana as the son of Nabhi. And it is this avatara to show how to renounce. One of the ways of establishing order is through renunciation. Having inherited the entire earth, entire Bharata Varsha, as we now call it, it was now then called Nabhi Varsha. Originally, it is Nabhi Varsha, which was inherited by Rishabhadeva. Rishabha inherited it, and then he gave it on to Bharata, and he renounced and walked away, taking sannyasa. Shows how effortlessly the wealth of the kingdom can be renounced. Again, Bhagavan taking the avatar of Rishabhadeva. We will also look at this avatara in detail. As I said, each of these avatars we'll look at in detail as we go along in Srimad Bhagavatam. Here only Brahma is only giving a very 60,000 feet view of the avatars here. A summary of all summaries. Let's put it that way. So Rishabhadeva avatara is to demonstrate the law of renunciation, giving up. How difficult it can be to give up not just any wealth, to give up the entire kingdom. Everything belonged to him and he just gave up. That can only come with supreme jnana, and therefore Brahma talks about the very embodiment of jnana as the next avatara. Satre mamasa bhagavan hayashir shato sakshat sayajna purushaha tapaniya varnaha chandomayo makhamayo akila devatatma vacho babhuvur vashati spashosya nastaha. It seems When he breathed, out came the soothing syllables, the soothing hymns of the Vedas. He is the very Veda Purusha, the embodiment of all jnana. Jnananandamayam devam nirmala spatikakritam adharam sarvavidyanam Hayagriva upasmahe. The glorious Hayagriva Avatara. Hayagriva appeared in front of Brahma. Brahma, Satre Mamasa, Brahma is sharing this with Narada. Satre Mamasa Bhagavat Hayasirushatho. Brahma was engaged in Satre Yaga. Brahma performed the Yaga, and out from this Yaga, in order to teach him, or rather reteach him, remind him once again of all the Vedas and give him the Jnana, Bhagavan took the form of Hayagriva. Sakshat Yajna Purushaha. He is Sakshat Yajna Purushaha. Tapaniya Vardaha. He is the very embodiment of tapas. Chandomayaha. Makhamayaha. Akhila Devatatma. He is the very Antaratma of all Devatas. He is the Antaryami of all the Devatas. And he is the Vachaspati. He is the Lord, the Master of the word, which is the Vedas, of knowledge. He is the master of knowledge, and it is from him all kinds of knowledge emanate, and it is his breath which is nothing but the chanting of the Vedas. Therefore, here the avatara is by giving this jnana in the form of the Vedas, which is the very source for establishment of order and sustenance of this universe. Matsyo Yuganta Samaye Manunopalabdaha Kshoni Mayo Nikala Jiva Nikaya Ketaha Vishramasitan Urubhaye Sanila Mukhan Me Adaya Tatra Vijaharaha Vedamartha. Another beautiful avatara at the end of Chaksha Manvantara, beginning of Vaivashva Manvantara. Matsyo Yuganta Samaye Manunopalabdaha. Yuganta Samaye. At the very end of the last yuga of the Chaksha Manvantara, Satyavrata is being chosen to be the next Manu. He is going to be the Manu in the Vaivashvata Manvantara. He needs to be protected. And not only that, all the living beings have to be protected when the whole world is being inundated. And in order to protect, Bhagavan takes the glorious form of Matsya Murti. Kshoni Mayo Nikila Jiva Nikaya Ketaha. In order to protect all the living entities and in order to ensure that everybody can swim through the ocean of samsara. He himself takes the form of a fish. He himself swims through the ocean, literally, and enables that the future Manu, along with all the chosen rishis, the chosen living entities, and with all the herbs and the seeds that are required for the beginning of a new Manvantara, he takes them across and ensures also in the process, protects the Vedas. And how does he do? All along the journey, he continues to keep instructing Vaivashvata Manu, the future Vaivashvata Manu, on all the teachings of the Veda. That is why he is also called Guruhu, Gurutamaha. Bhishmacharya in the Vishnu Sahasrama celebrates his avatara, calling him Guruhu, Gurutamaha, he says. Why? Because he is the supreme of the supreme teachers. Because he not only protected Satyavrata in the process, he also gave him extra protection and gave him all the tools necessary to be an ideal Manu by giving him all the teachings of the Vedas all along when they were wading across through the ocean when the whole world was inundated. The beautiful Matsya Avatara. Kshirodada Amaradhanava Yutapanam Unmatnatam Amrutalabdhaya Adidevaha Prishtena Kachapavapur Vidadhara Gotram Nitrakshano Adri Pariprataksha Parikandu. This is the Kachapa Avatara. Kachapa is the Kurma, avatar of tortoise. Kshirodadhav amaradhanava yutapanam unmatnatam amritalabdhava. When both the Nastikas and Astikas for the first time came together, the Asuras and Suras come together in order to churn the Kshiravdi with the churning rod of Mount Mandara. And when that happened, Adideva Prasthena Kachapapur Vidadhara Gautam, he appeared as Kurma, and to support the churning rod, the Mandara mountain. Brahma also has a sense of humor, it looks like. Brahma also says, Nidrakshano Adri Parivrata Kashana Kandu, he says. Kashana Kandu. Adri Parvat. It seems the Mount Mandara was rolling when it was being churned. It was a churning rod. It was rolling. It was rolling on the back of Bhagavan, who was as the Kurma. He says, Nidrakshano Adri Parivrata Kashana Kanduhu. Kanduhu means itchy. Kashana, scratching. It seems Bhagavan was nicely put to sleep. Yoga Nidra. Because when this mountain was rolling all over his body, it seems it was gently scratching his back. Brahma uses a sense of humor here to say, Bhagavan is also enjoying his time and getting his back scratched and enjoying his time. Essentially meaning everything is happening very effortlessly. Bhagavan is enjoying his time. Mandara mountain is no big thing for him. He is the Sarvadhara. He is the supporter of this entire universe. What is one Mount Mandara? So therefore, Brahma wants to convey this message. This task of supporting Mandara was so very effortless. He was almost sleeping and enjoying his back being scratched very nicely. He is Sarvadhara. We make every mole into a mountain hill. And when we contemplate on Kurma Avatara, even mountain-like problems become molehills. This is the message. He is the Sarvadhara. So therefore here, Brahma recalls the Kalyana Guna of Adharatva of Bhagavan, where he repeatedly demonstrates. Here, straightforward demonstration of Adharatva. What else do we need other than this demonstration, where he is supporting the whole process and orchestrating everything for Amrita to be churned out. Then Brahma moves on. Yet samstam, answering the question, yet samstam. Traiprishtaporu vayaha sarsimharupam. Kutva brahmat prakhuti dhamshtra karala vaktram. Daityendramashu kadaya patantamarad. Ura vripatya vidadhara Nakhai Spurantam. Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jalantam Samatomukam Simham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityor Mrityum Namambe. Mrityor Mrityu is the one who gives death to death. Traipishtaporu Vayaha Sarsimharupam. Traipishtaporu Vayaha Sarsimharupam. He eliminated fear from all the devatas by taking the glorious, the beautiful form, the Nrisimha form, the man-lion form. He ensured that there is no more fear. What is that core message of this avatara in terms of establishing order in creation? Fearlessness is not absence of fear. Fearlessness is not absence of fear. It is the awareness of the blissful presence of Narayana with us all the time. When there is that the awareness of his blissful presence, that is what we call fearlessness. And this is what Nrisimha establishes. Eradicating the root of all kinds of fear. Kritva Brahma Drukuti Dhamshtra Karala Vaktram. Rolling his eyebrows, Brahma says. Rolling his eyebrows in anger and showing his fearful teeth. Now we need to understand what is this anger here. Our anger is an outcome of our desire. Bhagavan's anger is an outcome of a bhakta's desire for protection. We need to understand this difference. Our anger is the outcome of our own desire. Bhagavan's anger is the outcome of our desire for his protection. And his anger is nothing but establishment of order. When Prahlada desired to be protected by him and him only, he was there for him. And Daityendriyasa Gadaya Gadaya Vipatanta Arat Urau Nipatya Vidadhara Nakais Prahantam. When Hiranyakashipu encountered him with his mace, he overpowered him effortlessly, putting him on his lap. He tore him apart with just his nails and nothing else. We will see the details of Nrsimhavatara and Prahlada Charitra later in Bhagavata. Antasarasi Guru Balena Pate Grihito Grahena Yutapatir Ambujahasta Ataha Ahedam Adi Purusha Kila Lokhanata Tirtha Shavashravana Mangala Namatheya. Tirtha Shravaha Shravana Mangala Namatheya. He is called Tirtha Shravaha. He is the very place of pilgrimage. Tirtha Shravaha. Why? Shravana Mangala Namatheya. We don't need to go searching for places of pilgrimage. The very contemplation on his Nama is enough for purification. And who established this for us? Antasarasi Urbalena Pade Grihito Grahena Yutapati Ambuja Hastahataha. Antasarasi Urbalena Pade Grihito Grahena Yutapatihi. Yutapati, the leader of elephants, Gajendra. When he was caught by the crocodile in the lake and he was attacked and caught, Ambujahasta Artha Ahedam Adi Purusha Akila Lokhanatha. When that Gajendra called out, hey Adi Purusha, hey Akila Karana, hey Adbhuta Karana, hey Nishkarana, hey Sakala Karana, and completely surrendered to him, at that very moment, Bhagavan came rushing out all the way from Vaikuntha on his Garuda. Shutva Haristam Aranartitam Aprameyaha Chakrayuda Patagaraja Mujhadirudaha Chakrena Nakravadanam Vinipatya Tasmad Naste Prahitya Bhagavan Kripayojahara. Bhagavan comes rushing out for his bhakta here. The moment Gajendra surrenders, proving that surrender alone renders success. Hari, this is the avatara of Hari. This is celebrated as avatara of Hari in Chakshusha Manvantara. Bhagavan appeared as Hari, mounted on Garuda, armed with his chakra, came rushing out and instantaneously cut off the crocodile and liberated Gajendra then and there. Brahma celebrates that glorious avatara of Hari. Brahma continues to celebrate many more avataras until we continue to journey with Brahma, releasing more avataras. Let us contemplate on all the avataras that Brahma so far has recounted in brief. Remembering on one very important message. The message being, Bhagavan does everything and anything for us to ensure that we come out of all kinds of disorders. Physical disorders, mental disorders. Disorders into which we are forced into in this world. The only way of getting out is to reach out to him, because he is waiting, ever waiting for us. He is ever waiting for us to reach out to us. And every avatara of his only proves the point that he is there ready to reach out to us. All that we need to do is simply call out to him. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu.